I'll say it. Sorry. You don't want it to be your last.
I got this. Good morning, everyone. How are we today? I am fantastic. So as you can tell, I'm here. A few of our other ALC members are going to be subbing in today while Dela takes a well-deserved break and goes and visits Bryce in Florida. So welcome to the May all-company meeting. Welcome Lancaster, Granville, Westerville,
You'll be there at 4.
Johnstown, any other ville I forgot.
Mhm.
And so oh, Lancaster's there. Okay. Switch.
Alright. Hey, like,
Bucket fills.
okay, all right, bye.
Anybody have a bucket to fill?
Yeah, I think I want to thank Martha and Tracy out of our KW Commercial division here at our Market Center of putting on the commercial summit last week. It was actually, we had some fantastic subject matter, guest speakers come in. It was definitely a valuable program. And this was for the Ohio Valley region, for the commercial, people that are interested in developing their commercial business or who are members of KW Commercial. It's a great event to attend to, and it cycles around the region. Last year it was in Indianapolis, and we went to it, I think, a couple years ago. It was in northern Kentucky. So I want to thank Martha, because it takes a lot of time and organization put that together. So I don't know where Tracy's at, but she was a part of the leadership team that put that together. Meg.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Any other buckets?
Thanks, Mr. Arnold, has been a great mentor and always reaching out and I make sure I'm in the right time.
Good, good. 2 snaps.
I just want to say thank you to the staff in general. They're always so good taking care of us and making sure that, you know, we pop our head in the door, they answer the questions and don't act like they're looking at us and things. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody.
I second that. It's great to have staff that care about what we're doing and want to help us. Yeah. All right, May birthdays. Anybody in here have a May birthday? Happy birthday. But there's our list, and May is obviously a popular month for us. May anniversaries, Anna and Mark Sullivan. I don't see.
How long has this office, Greater Columbus, been open now?
23 years.
Oh, wow. We celebrated my 20th.
We started out with.
That was our 20th anniversary, our
No.
20th year anniversary, wasn't it?
It was.
We had that big party.
27. This will be our 23, right? I think that was 20 years.
Yeah, last year was our 20-year anniversary. We had a party at the end of the
Wasn't
year.
it 2 years ago?
You know what? Between 20 and 25 years, so somewhere in there.
Well, we opened our market center in October of 23.
That's fine.
So
October of 2003.
So it was 2 years.
Oh, 3.
It'll be 2 years in
2
October.
years, 20, almost 22 years. Yeah, we got it.
All right, now we got that solved. Thanks, man.
I'm still in 2024.
All right, so we have May newcomers, Janae Carter, Kimberly Ordonez Elias, and Dylan Crisp. Welcome, everybody. Stan, you're here. This is Dylan. All right, congratulations, cappers, Zach De Leon and Paul George, congratulations. Love it when people cap. Team cappers, Mary Blackstone, Roma De Leon, Lucas Ransbottom, Ron Sprung, Tisha Waddell, and Max Richards, congratulations. First listings, Michael Aranda, Watson, Stephanie Harris, and Taylor Klein, congratulations. First closing, Erica Sevilla, Danielle Morris, Hasina Nelson. This is their first closing with KW. Congratulations. Jade Schultz, Mabel Maya Johnson, and Rathika Sunkara. Our head of the class is Miss Kim Sherrod. You attended more classroom hours than anybody else, so congratulations. Broker bits with Mark Sullivan. Pardon me?
Still Mark.
That's right. Okay, next
I
one,
think
Mark.
One thing about this business, you always have to continue learning. So, I don't know if I need this. Okay.
Yes, sorry.
I just want to go over, every year, well, actually several times a year, they have a broker class put on by the division, and they just had one put on. And there's a couple things, we go over this time and time again, but we need to go over it time and time again. And it's based upon the responsibilities we have as agents, whether you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent. But the important thing about it is, they start out the class with broker disciplines. And the reason why they start with broker disciplines is because if something goes wrong within the office, they usually look for the broker. And then they identify why the broker didn't hold you responsible for the actions you took to get him in trouble. So, but it's important to understand these responsibilities, and these responsibilities come if I happen to have to step to the table and say, no, this isn't allowed, or you're not allowed to do this, or especially between, my passion is commercial. If you're new in residential, and you want to jump into commercial, I'm all for it. But if you're going to take a commercial listing and you don't know how to handle that commercial listing, then sometimes I have to step to the table and say you need to go in a mentoring program or not take it at all, or assign it to somebody or get a referral. And the reason for that is because if the division finds out I'm in trouble or something like that, a typical 45-day suspension is a $4,500 fine, and then I have to take more CE that I love. Or, it all depends that how severe the fine is, but that's a pretty severe one to be suspended for 45 days. If a broker's suspended for 45 days, you have to replace me immediately. And immediately means once my license is taken down, you need to have a broker in position in order to run the market center. And we do have Fortunately, unfortunately, we do have backup brokers in place in the case, if I was not available. The big thing in our industry today is that we cycle through a lot of agents, and when we're working in deals, it's very, very, very important to communicate. And when you communicate, you put it in writing. Phone conversations are good, but it's very difficult to say we talked about, because it's a very, you never hold up in court. Your communications must be in writing. So if I'm talking to you about a subject matter and we're talking about critical points, you validate it by going back to your office and you sending it in an email, and you keep record of your communication. So if you're ever in a phone conversation with somebody putting a deal together, put it in writing. So it's we confirming that we did this and we're going to do that, and you're going to pay this and I'm going to do this, or whatever. Make sure it's in writing. Communication's real critical. If one of the things we text, we have a habit of texting and not talking. It's very important. I forget who called me the other day. Tracy? Uh-huh. Yep.
The buyer come in and say, I'm never aware of, long-term lease here. I have it everywhere disclosed. So anyway, long story short, the buyer and the tenant took each other to court. So I had to be part of it, even though I didn't do anything. So the attorney sent me a demand that I have to provide all the email, text messages, listing material, you name it, to use it. I just show the right interest, the long-term visit.
Yep.
It's a year ago, and really, that's part of the court paperwork, so the attorney really need me to. I said, oh. Thanks, Bob. I backed up all of my emails. It's like,
Yep. Yeah, it's real important, you know, that communication, copying your communication, recording your communication, storing your communication is real important. And a lot of us are notorious for dot loop. You know, I put a contract in dot loop and I'll send it and I'm out the door. And you never called the agent and told them, hey, I'm sending you an offer, or you never put it in an email format saying, you know, here's a PDF copy of the contract that I just sent to you in dot loops. And then the agent, and you call the agent 3 days into the deal, did you get my contract? How come I have not responding to me? Well, I don't know. If you're like me, I get, I don't know how many emails a day. Kate, how many emails? I get hundreds of emails a day. You know, some spam, I try and delete them as they come in and, you know, unsubscribe. But I get an awful lot of emails. And if I miss something, then what? So it's very important to put it in dot loop, send it in dot loop, put a PDF copy in an email, and then also call the agent and say, I just sent you, you know, either a dot loop copy and a PDF version. And then how can you possibly go wrong? Tracy just mentioned there are tools in the system, and we're not going to go them now, but there is a way to go into your settings and record your messages specifically for your client. And I think what we'll do is have a tech, maybe we'll get with the group and have a specific class on that. There are apps out there for storing your messages, and you're printing your text messages through Apple, Androids. There's a lot of programs out there today. Remember, it should be easy. Today, we're in an AI world today, so it should be easy to copy this stuff and put it into a file. If I'm working on a deal, and some of our deals are a little bit bigger, and I want to make sure I save all my emails, I have to figure out the sequence of events and how the communication occurred in order to get to this point. And a lot of times there's instead of counters, there are what we call red lines. So, and there's a lot of communication going back and forth. So you have to keep your records, and it's real important that you do it too. I do it to help me make sure I'm not only structuring my deals, but saving my deals. I hate to have my deals fall apart. Unlicensed activity, that's another big one. If you have an assistant that's unlicensed, make sure that they're not practicing real estate, communicating real estate values over the phone. There are specific duties that are outlined on the Ohio Realtors website. I have them in my office. If you have questions about what is responsibility of an unlicensee, you let me know. And then let's see. Watch your marketing and advertising. That's always a big one. Someone will dislike you and report you to the division. That's our personality, you know, we're A people, you know, like, anyway, I don't want to go there. But in 2024, the most common infractions, which this means you're going before the Division of Real Estate. You go before the Division of Real Estate, this means you have to open up your pocketbook and take continuing education, and if you're going before the division, it may involve suspension. And the top one is unauthorized access to homes. So if you don't call the showing time and let them know you're going to be entering the house, and you enter the house because you have your, you know, secret handshake on your phone to get into the deal, into the lockbox, that's wrong. You have to let showing time know. If you miss your appointment, you have to let showing time know. I'm running a half hour behind. Let them know. And then continue on. Unlicensed activities, wholesaling. I am not a wholesaler. If you're doing wholesaling, like, I'm going to have a word with you. There are some requirements that are, in my opinion, should be strictly held to. So if you're thinking about getting in the wholesale business, think twice. Soon there will be a license for that activity. Property management, if you're doing property management outside the brokerage, without the brokerage knowledge and having a specific brokering account, if you're handling funds, that is an absolute no-no. Misconduct, if you get upset with somebody in your social media, keep it to yourself. Just walk down the street, go to the bar, do something. Don't put it in writing. Earnest money, if the contract says you're putting earnest money in, put it in. Don't say they're on vacation. We're in a tech, yeah, I can send money across the country in seconds. Don't tell me you can't get earnest money into the account if the contract says you're supposed to have it. Make sure you follow up with that. And dual agency on personal transactions. That's another big one. If you're doing personal transactions, you could represent yourself, but you cannot represent the buyer. You have to advise the buyer of that status that you hold in your property ownership, and you have to advise them they have the rights to get another realtor. So those are my little broker bits today, and I'm glad Dayla's not here because she would have never allowed me to have this much time.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Hey everyone, so we do have a few little updates with Command. This one's actually been out for a little while now. Within your contacts, there's an AI timeline summary. I don't know if anybody's ever taken a look at that or seen that or utilized that. It's pretty cool. You can use that QR code and it'll give you a full tutorial on how to utilize that tool. Basically, you're just taking notes, adding activity, once you get 5 entries within a contact, then AI will generate a summary for you. It's pretty helpful. And then this is just our social media prompts for May. Obviously June will be coming out soon, but if you scan that QR code, it gives you 30 days of ideas for content for your social media sites. Next. And we're also posting this on our Facebook group page as well. Speaking of that, we do have our office exclusive listing on Facebook page to, if you want to join that. I did add the links and now they're not there. I don't see them. This is posted on our Facebook group page as well. The links to join this group is on top of the featured listing or featured page in our Facebook group, private one. And then if you ever miss a class, we do have them posted and recorded on our YouTube channel it's kwgcrclasses.com. If you can't attend a class and it's been recorded, that's where you can catch up on it. So that's all I have.
I don't have a lot. I was just going to let you guys know Monday is a holiday and also a banking holiday. The offices are closed Monday and also banks are closed Monday. So what we're going to do just for the holiday is kind of follow typical procedure. If you have a wire or a commission check that's turned in by 5 p.m. on Thursday, normally that cutoff is at 2 p.m. on a business day. If it's 5 p.m. on Thursday, I'm going to get it processed and paid out for you Friday, so you don't have to wait even longer. So if you have a commission check, get it turned in. If you're, getting a wire, whatever. I'm also going to, if any wires come in on Friday before 2 p.m. Now, with that being said, if you have a closing at 10 and title doesn't send your wire until 6 o'clock on Friday night, unfortunately, I'll be keeping an eye on them. If it comes in, I'll get that processed and paid out Friday as well. I'm going to try to do whatever I can so there's no delay and get you guys paid ahead of time. So because of Monday, but just so you know, main thing is Thursday by 5 p.m. Checks, wires come in, I'm going to get you paid out on Friday. So we'll just extend a little bit for that holiday on Monday. And then Jennifer in Westerville has some stuff for you guys.
Now, I don't have things until later on in the slideshow.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, my bad. All right.
So our top individual for gross commission income in April was Sarah Marty at $37,900. Congratulations, Sarah. Top individuals for written volume in April, John Niebarger, Todd Dotterer, Sarah Marty, Hasina Nelson, Steve Oltman, Dave Weissman, Thomas Idens, Jared West, Kelly Staten, and Rima Bashi. Top individuals for closed volume in April are John Niebarger, Todd Dotterer, Sarah Marty, Hasina Nelson, Steve Oltman, Dave Weissman, Thomas Idens, Jared West, Kelly Staten, and Rima Bashi. Top team in GCI, the Yodi team, $48,701. Congratulations. Written volume, the Yodi team, the Houston team, the James team, Maxon team, Beck Hoppert Group, Team Chapman Dozer, Descena Group, Balster Realty, The One Group, and Catton Howard Team Live. And closed looks the same. Odie, Houston, James, Maxon, Beck Hoppert, Team Chapman Dozer, Descena, Balster Realty Group, The One Group, and Catton Howard Team Live. Congratulations. Top group for GCI in April, the De Leon Group at $190,298. Fantastic. So top groups for written volume are Romanelli Group, Kathy Cairo Group, the De Leon Group, Shulaw Group, the Brittany Cox Group, the Richards Group, the Dixon Team, Team Truitt, the Gordon Group, and Powerhouse. Top groups for written volume, Romanelli, De Leon, Kathy Cairo, the Richards Group, Brittany Cox Group, Shulaw Group, Dixon Team, Team Truitt, the Gordon Group, and the Powerhouse Team. So congratulations, everyone. Regional Spotlight, teams in the region. We have the Odie team at 16, so congratulations. And for groups, we've got the Sullivan Group at number 5 and the Romanelli Group at number 17. So great job. Fantastic. Gross agent gain. Dayla about Peter Pants yesterday when she saw this. Keller Williams Greater Columbus was number 1 with 35 agents. Oh, Jennifer. Okay.
Okay. So as May, we know from last month, May is KW Cares month, that we try to raise more money for KW Cares this month. And our market center has been on the receiving end of KW Cares generosity in the past. So we know firsthand how powerful this organization is. So the KW Cares is here to help all the agents in need and wherever KWs are located. So if we can go to the next slide. This year, in honor of Mo Anderson's 88th birthday, there is a national goal to raise $350,000 across all market centers, which means that each market center is being challenged to raise $888 during the month of May. If we hit the goal, we'll be able to unlock a special reward, which is a coaching call with Mo Anderson herself, which that's something that is an incredible opportunity and all agents will remember. So if you'd like to donate, go ahead and you can use the QR code here on this slide, or you can also go to MyKW and go to the KW Cares website and search for our market center. And we can go to the next slide here in a second. And now I want to give a big shout out to a few of our amazing agents who have gone above and beyond, which is Liz, Tracy, Cheryl, and Bob. They've dedicated their time and energy behind the scenes to make our Night of the Races and our Red Day events a huge success. Let's give them a well-deserved round of applause. And then these events went off without a hitch. So yeah, we can go ahead and show some of the photos from the events. And then now here's our red day. We did our blankets and we also volunteered down at the Ronald McDonald House. And I just wanted to say thanks again to everyone who came out and supported those events. And we can't wait to have us all come together and do it again next year.
As you know, this month was
We got 1 second, 1 second. We have somebody that'd like to speak, please. Sorry.
I just wanted to say something about the blanket making day here. Many of you guys know that my sister was recently diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And so we did a little fundraiser for her, and a lot of people donated. So she came in that day to help make blankets. Everybody was so nice to her and kind. She had so much fun that day. I just wanted to say thank you. She thought it was so wonderful that Keller Williams would actually take a day in the United States, around the world, and give back to the community. And so I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Cinnamon.
Okay, so as you know, this month was Mother's Day. And we are going to recognize some mother-child teams within Greater Columbus. So for Team McTeague, we're gonna go with that. We have Michelle and Riley. For the Maxon team, we have Peggy and Michael. For the Richards group, we have Kate and Max. For the Houston team, we have Cheryl and Sarah. For the DeSena team, we have Christine and Jessica. For Jansen Associates, we have Tiffany and Lily. For the Sullivan group, we have Anne and Elizabeth. Great job building up generations. We also wanted to give a special shout out to Brittany Cox, who was the recipient of the Emerging Athena Leadership Award. And I did a little bit of research to find out what this award was about. And it is an award that recognizes individuals who demonstrate leadership potential, particularly in the context of women leadership and community involvement. So great job, Brittany.
Hey, so I just want to talk briefly a little bit about something exciting that has come to Ohio. It is the K-Score. So K-Score is Keller Successful Career Opportunities in Real Estate. What this means is that we are now awarding up to $2,500 scholarship. It is all about the scholarship. It'll be online. They will have to do a scholarship application fee. We're talking about, I think that's going to be around $99. And what's going to happen is this is for anybody who is not registered yet to take classes. It's all online and it's going to be through Kaplan. So if you guys know of anyone who's looking to get into real estate, they haven't signed up for their classes, paid for their classes, we now have this awesome opportunity for them to get into the scholarship. It kind of goes alongside with KW Prep. So they'll get KW Prep, they'll do the first 2 modules, and then they will make their blueprint plan. They'll get on a phone and do about a 15-minute interview for the scholarship. And then once they are approved, it'll move through and they'll go ahead and get that online. We're still going to be working with Hondros to be able to have those people go in-person classes if they want. But right now, this K-Score is just for online through Kaplan. We're going to hopefully be rolling that out. We're looking for June, mid-June. And once we know more details, we'll make sure that we can get that over to you guys. But if you have anybody that's interested, if you guys want to come and talk to me and we can kind of talk a little bit more Jennifer and I have a Zoom meeting tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get a lot more details, and then we'll get a set date for when we are officially going to be rolling this out as a market center. One of the cool things that they said is that K-Score graduates can earn up to 23% more in their first year than anyone else. So it's kind of a cool opportunity for them. It should take them about 6 months. The program is there for 6 months. They say it's about a 3 to 4 month to complete it if they're kind of flowing through. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. And like I said, once we get more details on it, we'll be more than happy to share that with everyone. Hi, I'm Kate, guys.
She's our new assistant. If anybody was wondering, we filled the position, so I don't know if anyone saw anything.
It's been a lot of fun so far. James. Bob.
We only have one microphone.
Well, you can share it. Perfect. Well, hello, James Sloan. We are just doing the agent spotlight for Bob McCarthy, so I'm going to answer him or ask him some questions so you can get to know him a little bit more than just around the office. So I'll hand this over or come closer. So the first question is going to be, where did you grow up?
I was born in Buffalo, New York. Yes, I've been to the Anchor Bar and I've had chicken wings there. But I grew up outside of Cleveland in Geauga County in a small township called Bainbridge Township, and he was in Chardon. That was our county seat. And then until I moved south for the winter and came to Columbus.
Awesome. So the second question is where did you go to school and what is your highest level of education?
My highest level of education, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in communication from the Ohio State University. OHIO. My daughter's at Texas Instruments, and this guy found out she was from Ohio, and every time he sees her now, he screams OH, and there's her and another girl that scream IO back. So it's fun. I mean, it's a great community for Ohio State. I loved every minute that I was there, and I decided to stay in Columbus. I liked it so much.
Is there anything else you can tell us about your family?
I'm married. I have 2 daughters. One is almost 30. She works for the Department of Justice in DC as an attorney in national security policy. And my youngest daughter is 21. She's at Purdue, and she's going to be an electrical engineer. I also have 2 dogs, Rosie and Millie. My life revolves around Rosie and Millie right now. So if you see me running out of here, it's usually because I have to go do something for the dog.
Okay, I know you've been in the industry for quite a while, but any previous jobs that you have had before real estate that led you here?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question because I've been really working since I was 14 years old. When I was growing up in Cleveland, it was during the recession, the Rust Belt recession. So things were pretty bad up there. There were 17 vacant houses on our street. So I got the idea, well, somebody has to cut the grass, somebody has to shovel the driveway. So I got contacted with all these realtors, and I was doing about at one point 14 lawns a week, which is a lot. They were all half acre. I had a push mower. But that's how I kind of got introduced to real estate, so to speak. And I would help them out with doing some stuff inside sometimes. So, I mean, that was how I made a living until I was 16. Got a job at McDonald's. People make fun of McDonald's, but I'm going to tell you something. They know their systems, and they know how to work, and they know how to make you work. You don't stand around when you're at McDonald's. You don't have a customer, you're on register, you wipe the counter, you refill the ketchup packets. So that's kind of, been a great introduction into the world of really working. Then I got a job that was probably one of the easiest jobs ever. I worked at a Revco drug. That job was so easy I couldn't stand it, but I made more money and I was a union member. Came to Columbus, got a student job at Ohio State that turned into a permanent job after I graduated, but I got tired of it, and that's how I got into real estate.
Well, the next question was, why did you choose real estate? But
No, I didn't. Well, why did I choose real estate? I chose real estate because I wanted something that I felt could benefit me. So the work that I was putting in, I wanted to get the compensation out. And the issue to Ohio State is you make what you make, whether you do your job or you don't do your job, you know, that's what you make. And I felt real estate I could grow into, and it could be kind of a lifelong passion for me. And I've been here 31 years, so I think I made the right decision. But, you know, who knows? I'm also a broker. So I have my sales license and my broker's license. And I've, again, loved all 31 years. There are days I want to rip my hair out, but I love it. Well, I learned how to, you know, play golf because of real estate. The drinking and the eating I had down.
Nice. What other hobbies do you have in your life?
I am terrible at golf, but this is scramble season. So I'm just smart enough to get into scrambles with people that are a lot better than me at golf. Drinking is a hobby. I play euchre on Wednesdays. That's kind of like my exciting night out for the week. But, you know, I kind of go with the flow on a lot of stuff.
Is there anything that you can tell us that something we may not already know about you?
Well, I used to be 6 feet tall. And when I got into this business, you know, it beats you down so bad, I'm 5'5" now.
That's really funny. So that leads us to our last question. What's one piece of advice you can give to other agents from your experience?
The biggest piece of advice I can give to any of you is consistency. I don't care if you're consistently bad, be consistent, because that's what gets you the deals. Them seeing your farming materials every month, you making those phone calls every day, you following up, you checking your social media. It's that consistency, because that's what people know. And I don't know if you ever go to parties or something and like, boy, you seem really busy. Well, that's just because I'm consistent with my posts on Facebook. So they think I've got all this business, and really it's team business, but you know, it's not my personal, but they think I'm just busier than a one-arm paper hanger. So be consistent.
Perfect. Well, that's all the questions. So glad we can get to know you a little bit more, but that's Bob McCarthy.
Cinnamon, are you there for Cinnamon in the City? Hey, hold on. You're muted over here on our end.
I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can you get to the slide?
She's ignoring me.
Hello again. So May has been Affordable Housing Month. And we did have a couple of events at our brokerage in Easton and in our new Westerville office, which you are invited to come check out anytime. And they were very successful. One of the takeaways was that there is a thirst for knowledge on affordable housing, and for those who want to service individuals that affordability could be an issue. So I would encourage you to take advantage of any additional training that might come up, whether it's in the brokerage or not. When affordable housing is used, don't be afraid, like really embrace it, because it's really great information and it could be applicable to pretty much any price point. So next slide. I'd like to thank my committee for making this month successful. Belen, James, and Tiffany, without you all, we would not have had the turnout or the enthusiasm for the event. So thank you again. Next slide. As a continuation of affordable housing, one of the speakers was Carly Booz from the Affordable Housing Alliance. They're doing great things in the state of Ohio. They have produced a documentary regarding duplexes, the history of duplexes. There's a world premiere happening next month. Next slide. And it goes into the history of duplexes and why there are certain neighborhoods that have them. It talks about the challenges of zoning and why, because of racial discrimination, there are certain areas and neighborhoods that duplexes are not allowed. So it's really interesting topic. And I would encourage you to sign up to attend. It's going to be we're going to see the video, and then there's going to be question and answer after the video or after the movie. And it would be a great opportunity to learn more about why the city is why the city is zoned the way it is, and why it's been such a hard conversation about rezoning in Columbus. Next slide. The event is June 8th at 1 p.m. It's in Clintonville, which is Studio 35 Cinema. It's a cute little cinema. It has a bar, Bob. Doors open at 1:30. And like I said, there's a Q&A panel discussion to follow, and it's free. If you try to register and it's full because there was only a few spots, I would, if there's a waiting list option, please do that, because they're thinking of screening this multiple times. Next slide. Here is the QR code if you're interested in signing up or learning more about this premiere. Next slide. We're here at summer. I don't know about you parents out there of small children. We're getting into summer break time. We're getting into busy market time. I feel like we're going to be in our cars a lot, whether you're a parent or not. If you're a busy realtor or not, you're going to be in your car a lot. So I wanted to just remind you all that Ohio Realtors has a podcast that you can listen to. The episodes are really great. There's hundreds of them. And it would be a great opportunity to kind of keep up with what's going on in our industry without having to read every single email. So check that out. It's called The Real View, and that's the podcast for Ohio Realtors. And then NAR has a podcast as well, and it's called Drive with NAR. Very similar to each other, where it's just industry updates. They interview people from all around the state for Ohio Realtors, or all around the country for NAR, and they're pretty interesting. And you can find these podcasts wherever podcasts are available. Next slide. And then here's just a reminder, as we're getting, we're not super close to award season, but the first deadline for any awards, if you qualify for awards, is going to be July 14th, and that's the Ohio Realtors Awards. You'll be receiving emails. If you are qualifying for Columbus Realtors, that's October 31st. And if you are a Realtist and qualify for any Realtist awards, their deadline is going to be in October, but we are still working through the date for the submissions for those awards. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Cinnamon. Great.
Before I talk about the calendar, for first closings, I realized Sherry McGregor on her team had her very first closing after about 3 weeks being licensed, and she was missed on the slides. So congratulations. Huh? Oh, that's right. That was April. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, congratulations, first closing. Yeah. We're just late. Usually we're middle of the month for our meeting. We're just late this. Yeah. So the May-June calendar, Monday to Friday at 9:30, there is script and role play that's on there. You just hit the QR code and you can practice your dialogues. Ignite After Dark, Tuesday at 6:30. That's also go on the calendar, get the QR code. And then it looks like 6/9 to June 9th to May 12th at 5:30. We're going to have fast track. I'm assuming that's June 12th. And that's Jill Campbell, Arnold DeSena, and Kate Shulaw. Monday, all the offices are closed for Memorial Day, and it's also a bank holiday, so keep that in mind. Happy Memorial Day, and you can see what we've got left coming up. How to cap in your first year and every year after. That's Joe and Sam Belansky are teaching that at Capital Partners. Oh, they're teaching it here. It's today at 1 o'clock. My clients found their dream home. Now what? That's going to be Thursday at 5:30. That's tonight. Kim, are you putting that on? You are? Do you have anything you want to say about it? All right, good. And then we have a lunch and learn on Friday from 11 to 12. It's understanding structural deficiencies, RSVP by May 28th. Is that today? No, next week. I don't know what day of the week it is. It's been. That's true. Home valuations with Smart Plan and Command MM is going to be Tuesday, June 3rd at 2025 at 10. This is going to be our regional tech trainer. Josh Boatman is coming in to do that, and Dayla said he'll be here all day, so come in with a lot of your command and tech questions. That's his role in the region. We beat this to death. We're closed Monday. Free headshots by Fairy Tale Films, and that's first Friday of every month from 1:30 to 2:30. We had our team picture done last month. He's a really nice guy. It's a great opportunity for us and a wonderful feature for the office. All right, so June 6th coming up for the social committee. There's a Keller Williams Greater Columbus agent outing. It's going to be at the Broadview Golf Course in Pataskala. $30 a person. It's a 9-hole course. What'd she say? 1 par 3, 1 par 5, and the rest are par 4s. So not horribly challenging, but challenging enough. And that's good. $30 a person. I think I said that. Then we have, oh, there it is. Food will be provided at the end of the outing, so make sure you call and reserve your spot. You play in twosomes as a foursome. Not quite sure how that works, but Realtor Care Day. Realtor Care Day is June 11th at the Van Buren Shelter. So sign up to volunteer through Columbus. For many of you that belong to area associations like Gahanna or Westerville, they also have their own projects, so you may want to volunteer at their project on June 11th. It's Columbus Realtors' version of Red Day. Leverage Series with Nikki Ubaldini, June 11th and 12th, 9 to 4 in Cincinnati, and it's Build a Business Powered by Talent. And so this is kind of taking the career visioning and putting it into work. Do you know what the cost is on that? I want to say it's $100 or $199. We should have gotten a e-bite yesterday on it. $240. Oh, all offices will be closed June 19th for Juneteenth Day. So keep that in mind. I believe that's also a bank holiday. Then the International Festival of Cuisine, the Social Culture Committee wants to do something to celebrate our diversity in June. So after the meeting on July 26th at 11 o'clock, we're going to have actually, I think that's June. Yeah, it's June. It's June's meeting. It's next month. July, there will be a picnic. But next month, so we're going to be celebrating diversity through food. Please bring a traditional dish that reflects your roots, family traditions, or has significance to you. And this is really a chance to show off and bring a little of your culture in. Beyond Building Wealth Beyond Commissions. This is in Lexington, July 24th from 9 to noon with Jimmy and Linda McKissick. And it's Unlock Proven Wealth Strategies in Real Estate and Beyond with Jim and Linda McKissick, and they have a thriving rental business. Mega Camp. It's at San Antonio, Texas, August 11th to the 14th, and whatever pricing it is, that ends June 5th, the early bird pricing, so you might want to get that. You can mention something.
So there's not a slide in here, but since we're about to switch from talking about classes and trainings, next week on Wednesday, I have a Keller Williams Greater Columbus virtual home tour. So basically what it is you would submit your MLS number. You'll get 3 to 5 minutes to speak. I'll go through the pictures. It's on Zoom. We have everything on the Facebook. I'll send out text, emails, be annoying to you guys. But last week we had 9 people come to it. We had 12 homes to show. It was great. It's just a way to kind of connect with different agents. You can talk about coming soon, any type of listing that you have. If you also don't have any listings and you have buyers looking, it's a great resource. Sometimes it's kind of hard to look at the MLS because there's so much going on in there. But it's also a nice way that if you're not familiar with an area, I ask questions after the agent provides their listing. I'll ask a couple follow-up questions to each person. And, it kind of gives a way to talk about that area, maybe if they're shopping, parks, what's going on in that area. So if you guys are interested, there's a Google form. You'll just submit the MLS number and your name, and then I'll have everything already pulled up. And all you have to do is just when I say the address, you unmute yourself and kind of talk about your property, kind of just another way to showcase it. So, yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
And kudos to Jessica for putting that together. I've been on it since the beginning. And it's just a great way for us to showcase. I want to showcase our listings before they hit the market, give you a chance to get your buyers ready for it. And I think it's good to see what other people in the office are doing. So if you aren't getting on that Zoom, I would suggest getting on that Zoom because there is some great information. Keller Williams Podcast Network, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and you can sign up to receive the weekly newsletter. And then there's some other, those are some of the topics on the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Well, it can be. Oh, yeah, we're done.
Sorry.
All right. Make sure you're following the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, the TCPA. The costs for violations are $500 to $1,500 per violation, and if you do it a lot, that's on top, on top, on top. So be careful. Bill.
Yes, you have the first slide. Okay. So in the leadership, this started on Monday in the leadership meeting with Mick and Dale in the group, and then it kind of continued on the mastermind. We're in kind of a weird market right now in Columbus, but also actually nationally. And this is kind of talking specifically about listings. And to use my friend Tracy's word, listings fall into two baskets right now, right? Basket number one is what we all hope for. It goes on the market on Friday. We have 5 to 7 offers and we're making decisions by Saturday afternoon. Perfect world, everybody's happy. Basket number two is it's sitting there. It's sitting there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and there's no rhyme or reason. Tracy had an example of 2 condos that were very similar. In fact, hers was probably even more updated than the other one. One condo sold immediately, hers is sitting for a while. So I came across an article, and I forget his name. I think his last name is Yoon or Yun. He's the economist for the National Association. What is it? Lawrence, thank you, Bob. And he had an article that he had posted on LinkedIn, and it was about that very topic of listings sitting longer than what we've been experiencing, right? And if you're new to the business, started in 2019, 2020, you've never experienced this because you've just basically had properties just go 6 figures over asking price in 4.5 minutes. And this is a little new to you. But his article was really about what to do to get the property to move. And a lot of times I think we fall into the trap. Maybe that's not the best word, but maybe the habit that we've always had. And that's that something must be wrong with price. So then we're going to talk about a price reduction. And his point was, and I'll show you a couple examples, financing is going to impact buyers more than price. And we'll show some pretty clear examples here for you in a second. So I wanted to kind of put that together. And there's 2 ways to affect financing. One is through a temporary buy down, right? And this is the first slide. Temporary buy down, we had an example of 400,000 interest rate, and this was earlier in the week. I don't know if this is holding today. I haven't really checked rates, but well-qualified buyer, say at 6.875. The monthly payment on a $400,000 loan was going to be a little over $2,600, right? So if we did a temporary buy down, a 2-1 buy down, your seller is going to pay $9,269.36. Okay, so instead of a $10,000 price reduction from $400 to $390, we do the buyer or the seller paid buy down. How does that impact your buyers? Well, if the standard payment was $2,627.72 in year 1, that buyer is going to have a payment of $2,116.83. So it's $510 less per month. $510 in qualifying power is nearly $80,000. So what have you just done? You've just opened up a $320,000 buyer and shown them that they can afford a $400,000 house. Is there a difference between a $320,000 house and a $400,000 house in the neighborhood as far as upkeep, condition, probably amenities? I would say it's probably somewhat noticeable, right? In year 2, their payment adjusts again, and it's now $2,366, but it's still $261.56 less than the standard payment. In year 3, it goes back to fully amortized payment. The one good thing about a temporary buy down is that $92.69.36 goes into basically like an escrow account for your buyer with the loan servicer, and that subsidy is paid each month. So if they were to refinance or sell within the 2 years, I know that seems crazy, but refinancing still may happen. Selling, you never know. But that money is refunded. It's either deducted from their payoff or it's a refund back to that particular borrower. So they don't lose any of those funds. Maybe you just wanted to do a 1-year buy down. You can still get it's $3,138, and it's going to subsidize their payment $261.56 a month. So again, we're talking about a difference in qualifying power of probably somewhere around 40,000. Tracy?
As we see the rates gonna be lower in the next couple of years, would you recommend this or would you rather recommend to buy the rate down for that whole 30 years?
That's a great question. And really that's kind of tough to answer because it depends on what the buyer's intentions are for the home, right? I do kind of think that we need to kind of get our minds around that these interest rates are here to stay a little longer than anybody really wants to talk about. I would not be surprised if we see rates in the 6.5 to 7.5 range for 3 to 4 years. But keep in mind, you know, I know that sounds scary, but that's because most of us still have buyers that remember 3% rates or 2% rates. But historically, we are right in the typical rate over 30 years. You know, there have been extreme highs, you know, maybe some of the more experienced agents, I don't want to say older agents, you might remember double-digit interest rates. And then a lot of us remember recently seeing things in the 2s and 3s. But historically, and I've been doing this 3 years, anything in the 6 to high 6s is normally where we fall. So we could probably tell buyers we're in a normal rate environment right now. And I think normal is going to be longer than what anyone expects. There's so many things going on, new administration, tariffs, the decrease in the rating for the U.S. debt is now kind of changing the bond prices, which affects our rates. So I think this is good for anybody that has the suspicion that they may hope to refinance, or this may be a short-term home. Like I just closed one of our agents' son who's in residency. So he's only going to be in his place for 3 years and then he's going to move. But if their intention is to stay, you know, 3, 5, 7 years, can we go to the next slide, Jess? Then a permanent rate down is going to make a little more sense. But I just wanted to kind of show the math of this again. An example of $400,000 loan amount, we already kind of covered the payments at 6.875 is 2627. We do a $10,000 price reduction. We get a $65.70 per month reduction in payment. But if we did a permanent rate buy down using 2 points, which is only $8,000 instead of your seller paying $10,000, you're going to have double the payment reduction, $132.24. So again, we're moving buyers probably in a little lower price range up into your home's price range, okay? And then we can talk about this depending on your property, but I have some suggested agent remarks. You know, and this, when we do this, we want to put in the agent remarks, seller is offering special financing concessions up to, you guys decide how much, to be used for temporary or permanent rate buy downs, making this home more affordable than others in this price range. Now, Dela had mentioned something, and I don't deal in the MLS, guys, so I'm not quite sure about all the mechanics, but she said if you did this in the agent remarks with a $1 price reduction, that there's some type of maybe refresh that it would kind of broadcast this.
Buy a subscription in-house.
Okay. And then Mick had also made a mention that you could go back into your showing time and make sure that everybody that had seen your property that didn't offer got this message too, okay? This is just to get more eyeballs, right? More discussions. Some people are even talking about making reverse offers. Well, this is kind of a passive way to kind of start that process. But we can talk about if you have a property that's sitting and you feel it's priced right for the condition it's in, for the location it's in, and it's just not moving, give me a call. I have a spreadsheet. We can run numbers on the buy downs. We can look at the rates that day and see approximately how much it would cost to get a 1 point, 2 point, maybe even 3 point permanent rate buy down. And keep in mind, guys, on a conventional loan, if a borrower is putting 10% or less down, the seller can contribute up to 3% of that sales price as an interested party contribution. As you make a bigger down payment, that goes up to as much as 6%, right? So this is all within the allowable numbers in a conventional loan. 1 second. Mr. George? Yes, sir. Yeah, well, you got the jacket on, right? So you look sharp. You look sharp.
Hey, this house possibly qualifies for a below 5% interest rate temporarily. Is there a way to do that without raising red flags or without being unlawful, I guess you say? Because you can't just say, every buyer is different. And you can't just say, hey, this qualifies for a 4.75 interest rate.
That's a great point. And really what we're doing here, guys, if you think about it, and I'm going to answer your question. I mean, it brought up something that I kind of forgot to mention. Has anybody directed one of their buyers from existing to new construction recently? Everybody? And what is one of the top reasons for that, Tracy? Interest rate, right? So the builders are smart, right? They know that affordability is out of control, right? They know that the buyers are taxed, right? Did any of them lower their prices? No. What they did was they threw the money toward the financing. And I think this is what your question is, how do we attack this, Paul? Maybe we put something like buy existing home with new construction interest rates. You know, you have to be very careful because you're not licensed to post an interest rate. And even if I do it, then there has to be disclaimers with APRs and all these other things. But you could kind of market this home being offered at builder-like financing rates. You know, something a little bit more generic, that it doesn't quote, hey, I'm giving you a 5.99 rate. But that's
down up to 2% or something like that.
right, right. And you know, if they're working with a lender, obviously, if they're working with me, or even they want a second opinion, you guys say, hey, could you tell them what this would look like? You know, I can ask just a few questions and get them a pretty good idea of how much 2 points, 1 point, 3 points affects their rate. And, you know, if we're a well-qualified buyer, 3 points is probably going to put them at that, 5.99, something under 6.
But is there a landing rule of thumb, like 1 point be able to bring down?
You're right. It does vary a little bit with down payment and credit score and all those things. But if you wanted a rule of thumb, but you didn't want it to be a 100% accurate rule of thumb, I would say typically 1 point is about a 1/4 point rate reduction. So if you got 3 points being paid by your seller, you're dropping your rate 3/4 of an interest rate, or 3/4 of a point in rate. And just one last thing, and then I'll take any questions, but this is also, sure, yeah. This is also, one other thing is, this also works for buyers, right? In a reverse way, right? Maybe we know we have to go in and ask 2%, 3% over list price to ask the seller to pay for a financing concession. And one example that we talked about this week in the mastermind was Mick Gordon had an older client on fixed income that was trying to move down here and buy a condo. The HOA fees, or where she wanted to be, were a little bit more expensive. So we were about 50 grand apart on what she qualified for and what she wanted. And Mick and I talked about it, and he was like, what would it take to get a rate to where she could get to that extra 50,000? And we determined what it would be. And he literally negotiated in the price for them to pay it. She was able to move up 50 grand in buying power, not because anything changed other than the interest rate. So financing is a very, very strong tool for you guys to use to gain leverage on both your listings and with your buying clients. So that's the message we want to get out. I'll be around during lunch. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Okay. Sorry I took so long.
Thank you. All right. So thank you to Rapid Mortgage, Marshall. He's not with us today, but thank you anyways to Rapid Mortgage. And then we have Northwest Platinum Title. Kathy, do you have anything that you want to share? Here, I'm going to come bring you the mic.
We got to have the other offices hear us.
Awesome.
Okay, I would like to introduce a new member of our Northwest Platinum Title Agency. It's Tedra Bear. She is now going to be our escrow manager there at the office. So if you have any questions after the meeting today, she's going to be here. Please come up, introduce yourself. She's not new to the business or Northwest, so we're glad to have her back. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. And then we also want to thank America's Preferred Home Warranty. I don't see Mark here, but thank you anyways. Oh, he's in Westerville. Well, thank you, Mark. And then we want to thank our sponsors, OMG Mortgage. If you want to bring them in, they're going to talk for a little bit. And then we have one other person presenting from Transact Estate, and then we'll be done for lunch. And we have a class in here at 1 o'clock afterwards about how to cap every year. So if you guys are interested, it's a great class to join.
Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna actually pass this over to Sarah first.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, guys. I am Sarah with Oasis Mortgage Group. I don't know if any of you guys have worked with me. Sarah Engstrom, Michelle Rodriguez, and Sam Armbruster on the team here. So we know we have a limited amount of time with you. We want to make the most bang for your buck in our few minutes here. So just kind of introducing us with OMG. This is a brand new company. I'm not brand new. None of us are brand new, but I've been in the industry for 23 years, but just decided to jump ship from the retail world and start my own little company at the end of last year. So that is offering some astounding benefits that we are able to pass on to our clients and our realtor partners that we would love to share a little bit more with you guys. What sets us apart is that you get the small feel and the attention and the care that we take with our clients, but we've got these wholesale lenders in the broker world to back us up with some insane tools and resources and things, so that there's so much that we are capable of that we've never been able to do before, that we are excited to share with you guys. So basically the short answer to your question, yes, we have that, or we will get that. So give us the opportunity, have the conversation so we can help you figure it out. But our rates and our costs are consistently lower than a lot of other lenders out there. So it's definitely worth comparing. Your clients are not paying for the big company marketing efforts and the branding and the things. There's 5 of us. We're a tiny little team. We have very little overhead. We are so much more cost effective than a lot of other options that are out there. And we make it a priority to make you look good. So it's not just about taking care of the client, it's about taking care of them in a way that you guys look like absolute rock stars when you're the ones that connected them to OMG. So, and before I pass it over to Michelle for the next one, really quick, we have something called Lend for Good, which is something that every single one of our loans that we close, we make a donation to a local animal rescue on behalf of the client. We have exceeded over $83,000 in donations so far through that program. So it's something we're very proud of, and we're animal lovers. And then just a very quick example of somebody that we were able to help, still in the process of helping, is a VA borrower that is in contract right now. His max pre-approval was with another lender at $450,000. He is in contract right now at $702,000. So a 702 purchase price when he was told previously he was capped at 450, because we don't have to think inside the box like a lot of the competition does. So he's already through underwriting quickly. We're closing here in the next couple of weeks. So that's just one example of what we can do that a lot of other people cannot. So I'm going to pass it over to Michelle next to talk a little bit about a unique down payment assistance option.
Good morning, everybody. Michelle Rodriguez, Spanish-speaking loan officer here local in Ohio, or all over Ohio, really. And also we originate in Florida, soon Tennessee, Texas. But again, Sarah hit on it. We do all types of loan options, your gravies, your all that you know, FHA, VA, conventional. But outside of the box, what we call non-QM, we do I-10, bank statement. Escrow waivers, we do as little as 3% down. So you don't need to have 20% down to waive escrows, just to put that out there. What I really want to talk about is down payment assistance. Everybody know affordability is becoming very, very hard. We know OFA is about to adjust theirs and take away the 5% down. We do have access to down payment assistance still, the 3.5% and the 5% down. It is big thing. It's not run off your income. Doesn't matter. There's no income limits. Doesn't matter where they buy. They can buy wherever, anywhere in Ohio. And we're able to give them both of those options. They goes down to a low of 600 credit score. So if you guys are having clients that need access to down payment assistance, please feel free to connect it to one of us. We'll be able to get into the weeds with them to actually see if the down payment assistance is beneficial for them. There are, like with anything, there are some requirements that we would want to review with them, but it's still underwritten with the same loan. So we don't have to send it off to somewhere else. We will be able to close it within the 21 to 30-day period. That's something else when you work with a local broker. We're able, like, we're getting clear to closes. I think my social media just said 3 days, under 10 days. So something that we do have is speed on our side. Everything is local, in-house. Don't have, again, we don't have to send it out anywhere else. I don't have 10,000 people's hands in my file. It's me and the client. It's Sarah and her client, and it's Samantha and her client. Did I forget anything else on our really good down payment assistance? Yes. Okay, I'm going to pass it on to Sam.
She does. I thought I would read the exact testimonial I have. Some of you know Tara Biebinger out of the Dublin office. She gave me permission because we shared this little tool that we created with Tara, and her specific response was, "This is the holy grail. Seriously, 10,000 out of 10. This is exactly what us agents need. I want a copy for my car and one for my office. You have no idea. Contract language? Seriously? How come no lender has ever done this before? This is the best. This is better than gold. You are genius." So I think it's good. Samantha.
Yes. So these little sheets that we created, they not only have your seller concessions on there, because as you know, the max amount that you can get not only has to do with what loan type, but also the amount that your buyer is putting down. So we've got that on here for you. We've also got, like Sarah said, the contract language. Not only, I mean, it's copy paste, guys. Like, you have this hard copy, leave it on your desk. We can send you a digital copy, but you can copy exactly the language needed for the temporary buy down. So you don't have to, I'm sure you've had it before. You want to use that, and it has to be very specific for underwriting. So we've got it on here for you. Flip it over. It mentions a couple of the options that we have: down payment assistance, bridge loans, recast. And then also we have a home inspection guide. So again, it kind of goes into what is needed based on your loan type. But yeah, we created these. I mean, this is just part of the value that we give you guys. So, communication, we communicate, we're available nights, weekends, holidays, but yeah, we try to also add value. So.
Yes. So thank you guys for a few minutes of your time. We appreciate it. One lucky person in your lunch box, you have a little note. If you're the lucky one that has a little card from us, please come see us because you actually get a pretty prize. So yeah, we'll stick around.
Yes.
So please, no cheating. Grab your box and walk away.
Yeah. And if you want one of these, come see us. We have
Yeah.
them. So.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And then we have one more presentation before we wrap up the entire office meeting. Staying with us. But we have Taylor Elias with Transact Estate. So Taylor, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Hi, I am Taylor Elias. I am with Transact Estate. I am a transaction manager and a listing specialist. Just want to provide you with some of the options that we have. And if you have any more questions, Jessica does have our flyer, our one pager, and our service form. Oops, sorry. So we have a couple of different options. We have our compliance management option where we communicate solely with you and make sure all of your documents are correct and accurate. And once it closes, we'll close it out, not only getting your commission closed out as well for you, but all of your documents submitted into compliance. For the full transaction management, this is a little more hands-on. We're communicating with your clients. We are communicating with title. We're communicating with the lender, the co-op agent. Essentially, we're making sure all contractual dates are being fulfilled. And same thing with the compliance as far as getting your commission and your documents all taken care of. Then you can go to the next slide. We also offer database management and social media and marketing. These are varied with the items that you may need as an agent. So just communicate with us and we can work with it and get you all set up. But we have a variety of options as far as inputting and maintaining your clients, helping with soft touches, the smart plans, for social media, assisting with content creation, getting posting for your social media, and a variety of other things. If you have any other questions or want more information, there's the QR code there. And then, like I said, we have the one pager and service flyer with Jessica. That's all. Any questions or anything?
Here's just some stuff, but if anybody wants this, just send me an email, and I'll send it out to you. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Taylor.
Thank you.
So we're just gonna do Queen of Hearts, but that pretty much wraps up our office meeting for May. So thank you, everybody, for joining.